Oh my goodness. Well, hi everybody. I'm with Tanesha Ross, and I'm so honored and privileged and grateful that you joined me today for the Real Medicine Talks. And I know about your work from my work at Village, and we both worked there. And I know that you are a board-certified music therapist and a neurologic music therapist. And I really liked there's that little story about you when you were 5 years old, and I just love that. And could you share that with our folks who are listening?
Yeah. So when I was 5, I said I wanted to be a singing doctor. And at the time, I thought that meant I was going to do surgery and sing to my patients.
Oh my God.
And I would literally do that with my dolls. Like, oh, you have a boo-boo. I'm sewing you up right now. Whatever. And just thought that would be my job. And then I did a myriad of other things, which then led me actually back to actually doing this work. I was a banker, I was a performer, and actually while I was a performer, I was in this really heavy meditation practice, which is what ultimately brought me back to this. It was just like one day, It was like, it's time.
The mystery was like, okay, yeah. Remember you're a singing doctor. Remember that part?
Right. And I was living in New York, which was part of the reason that I was like, okay, I need to stay grounded and have this practice. And a bunch of stuff had happened in my life that I was really just trying to find myself again and find my purpose. And I had been volunteering with underprivileged youth. And that was sort of what kind of kicked it off to begin with. But then when Great Spirit was like, it's time, I told my friend that I was getting ready to move back to Seattle. She goes, oh, I have all these boxes. I should, because I just moved. So I'm going to bring these boxes over. And I'm not kidding you. She brought this one big box with a bunch of boxes in it that said Emerald City Moving Company.
Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Thank you.
All the signals.
All of them.
Everything.
Just, yep. Mm-hmm.
Everything was there. And were you were also a performer there in New York, and you were working on Broadway and acting also, and then working with the children at the same time. And that's and that, I think, in its own, I think that performance has its own medicine. If I think of, I really loved the subjects that came up today, which was, the voice and expression, and the things that you sent. I was like, that's so perfect. Yes, let's talk about all of that. But I think about the healing power of the voice also, and I wanted to open with, this is something it's a traditional Celtic or Gaelic blessing, and it's something, I think it's one of the very first things that I read in my mentoring and leadership course. It's it's like the voice, right? So it may have permission to.
Yes, please.
It's called Wisdom, Voice, and Bounty. Wisdom of serpent be yours. Wisdom of raven be yours. Wisdom of the valiant eagle. Voice of swan be yours. Voice of honey be yours. Voice of the son of the stars. Bounty of sea be yours. Bounty of land be yours. Bounty of the mysteries of heaven. Bounty of the mysteries of heaven. So thank you for bringing your voice of honey to us today. What a privilege and honor. And I'm so delighted about our conversation. And so I was also curious about, when we talk about the voice, and you're also, now you're working at Children's Hospital with children as a music therapist. And so I'm curious about the voice, your experience of working with the voice as a tool for medicine and healing. So I wanted to just ask and invite.
Yeah. So I tend to work with a lot of medically complex children. that means they usually have one or more things going on with them. And a lot of them are nonverbal, or speak another language, whether that be, sign language or a different, culture. And so the way that I tend to use my voice is I like to, first of all, invite. So I think of my voice as an invitation. I am using my voice to invite you to use yours, and whether that's your hands or your eyes. Sometimes I just get their eyes, right? So sometimes they're so complex medically that all they can do is move their eyes. And so I use my voice as an invitation for a conversation.
Voice as an invitation. I'm taking notes. Go for you.
So, yeah, my voice is an invitation for a conversation, and then creating space for them to choose to accept that invitation. If I'm working with really little ones like preemies or anyone under a year, or even sometimes if they're older but they are sensitive to stimulation, the voice that's all you want to use. So I might have all these instruments with me. I might have a guitar. I might have a rattle. I might have a drum, and those are all things that I can use.
Flute.
A flute.
Of course, a wind instrument.
I would try to play the flute, and it would not go well.
Right. Maybe not.
But
Okay.
some people could do that. And that's their thing. I love the flute. It's a beautiful instrument.
I can back you up. No.
Good. Let's go. I'm ready.
Oh, I wish I could play the flute.
And so, sometimes it's just humming, because also the other thing is the vibration that it creates, right? So with a little one, I might just place my hands in certain loving ways on their body and then allow the hum of my voice to communicate with them. And then I have to watch and see, is that overstimulating for them or is it not? There's also a thing called contingent music therapy where I will match them. So if they are crying, I am going to try to match exactly what they're doing and just validate them. I hear you, buddy. Right?
So you use your voice.
This sucks right now. They are getting ready to poke you or give you medicine or whatever. And I'm not going to be like, shh. I'm like, what they're doing. And then what I can do is mood vector them away from that into a more calm state. Right. And then sometimes, I, again, just do it with my voice, or sometimes that's, okay, now I'm going to grab my guitar, my ukulele, and I'll just kind of provide sedative music, which will kind of shift them out of hopefully a pain response or out of agitation and into a more calm parasympathetic nervous system state where they're regulated.
So you're like a medicinal lullaby.
Yes.
Around the
I have a really funny story of a new referral that I had gotten. Never seen this kid before. I showed up and the nurses were like, "Oh, he's about to get labs, so you shouldn't, maybe wait till the labs are done." I was like, "Actually, I can help you get the labs done." Oh, okay. New nurses to me. So I go in there and I worked with the kiddo and the guy got the labs, and the mom was like, "That's never gone better. He's usually fighting them. He's usually crying, and then I went out and the nurses were like, "Whoa, I just thought you came in and sang and made some noise." And I was like, "Actually, this is what I'm doing. I'm using really simple melodies. I'm using, thirds, fourths, octaves. Those are all calming to the nervous system.
Oh, interesting.
And not really a lot of rhythm, because rhythm is activating. If I want to calm them down, I'm not going to, bring a bunch of fast rhythms,
Right.
Now, a drum that's kind of steady, maybe matching their heartbeat would be okay. But I don't want to get in syncopation. I don't want to get too activating, right? Because I'm trying to do the opposite. I'm trying to calm them down.
Soothing.
And so then she goes, yeah, I'm so tired of lullabies, And I was like, I get it. I don't want to sing Wheels on the Bus again. But like, if the kiddo wants Wheels on the Bus, I'm going to sing Wheels on the Bus.
Wheels on the Bus is going to be happening.
It's going to happen because that's what they want or what they feel like they need, And then she goes, well, I have these Taylor Swift lullabies. And I was like, oh, like Taylor Swift singing lullabies? She's like, no, it's like and she just goes, let me just show you. And she brings out her phone and it's like a glockenspiel playing Taylor Swift songs.
Gosh.
And she plays this song. It's like, did it, did it, did it, did it. And as she was playing it after we had our conversation, I saw her face went, oh, yeah, maybe not. Right. I could see how this would not work to calm him down.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I wanted to slow, I think if you slowed it down and just sang.
Yeah. Well, also the tone, right? Like not every tone.
Like it goes. Yeah.
Right. There are certain noises that you might hear, and it might be the same note of your favorite song, but because it's rash or bright or the tone quality is different, you might not like it, even though it's the same note. That's really good. Yeah.
Powerful. It's really your expression, like maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe we did it. That's not the best way to go. Yeah, that's really interesting. I love that idea though, that there's so many lullabies and we could even write new ones. And I think that's one of the things is there's some people who've done that. And I even noticed like after like people like Taylor Swift or not this about her specifically, but I noticed that people after they have a child, it seems like there's always an album, that comes out that is like, oh, they've had a baby. You can tell they've had a baby, right? You're like, oh, Thank You is the next album. I mean, that 21 Savage did the opposite of that with his mama, with that wonderful song about his mom. But it's just like, just all of that beauty that really comes with and tenderness. I actually play that song in one of my courses because it's just there's this tenderness and love and connection that really comes through his music. And I think that comes through music is, I'm just wondering about your thoughts is, music as a way to communicate and how are we communicating with one another? Maybe, what are some ways that music could help us to shift our communication or, what are your ideas about the future with?
I think that the way music can really shift our communication is for everyone to make it.
Oh,
I think that my time as a performer, yes, performing is wonderful. It's fun and all of these things, but, it's really an ego-driven thing. Look at me. I'm doing this thing for you. Please love what I'm doing for you. And in ancient cultures, people just made music together, And if you go to Africa and there's a band that starts playing on the street, anyone could just jump in and sing with them or pick up a drum. They don't care if you know how to play it, just play it. Right?
So great.
Just do it because art in general is our birthright and music is our birthright. And I think that when someone hears something that's pleasant, they go, you're better than me. So I shouldn't do it now. And I think that's where we've kind of over time become like performers, right? Like, oh, this person's naturally good at this. Just like, well, I can't make a chair.
Right.
So, I mean, I could try and I shouldn't not try.
Right.
I should try. I will try to make a chair.
To share the voice. It's risky to express. It's risky to.
But that's because of this hierarchy that we built. Because you're good at it and I'm not. Or your brother's good at that and you're not. So
like,
be quiet.
You're the pretty one and you're the smart one and you're the musical one and so like everybody has this gift. And everyone needs to use it. And it's so interesting, Tanesha, with oftentimes with my students, or as a mentor, I'll be like, oh my gosh, you have this incredible gift for speech, or you have this incredible gift for writing, or that's an incredible thing that you've written, or you just notice and appreciate things that people do well and authentically. And oftentimes that's one of the things people say, I'm not artistic. I don't have an artistic bone in my body. I don't. But I think like we come here to create, right?
Yes.
And
so, as children, we're doing it all the time. But at one point, adults start to say that wasn't good enough.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
It's like, when the 2-year-old
Right.
comes and they've got the circles on the paper and, oh, look what I made. Oh, yeah. There's a whale and the ocean and this thing. And,
Right.
and you're like, mm-hmm. But, and you really do. You go, yep, I see it. And you don't tell them no until what? The age 5, 6, all of a sudden it's like, well, it doesn't really look like that.
Right. Oh,
it's not, that's not good enough.
Right. It's like, I think I don't remember where I heard this story, but about they went into a classroom of kindergartners or something. I'm totally don't know the same as the way that it actually was said, but and they asked them, oh, who's an artist? And everyone raised their hands. And then I think like by 6th grade, they went in and only like 2 people raised their hands, 2 of the children. And so, but I think that's such a powerful perspective of, oh, we're all here to create. And so, but a lot of people have a difficult time overcoming that belief that they're not good enough, or that they, that we can't use our voices, that I can't use my voice because I'm right. And so I wonder, did you have any experiences with that yourself? And what were some of the ways that you really started to engage your voice and overcame some of those thoughts or doubts? Or
It's a good one. So I think it was helpful for me to have the foundation that when I was younger, people did tell me that I had a good voice. So that by the time, it was like mostly in high school, I would like just be singing all the time, because that's what you do as a singer. You just sing everything, I'll just be in the grocery store. I'm like, I am buying these green beans. Oh, I'm singing, like.
That's great. And that's your language, right?
It's my language, right?
Oh, that's so.
And so it's like telling a bird to stop singing, right?
Yeah.
And so, but people, Tanesha, stop singing in the hallway, but I just, I think at that point I had enough pumping of my ego, so to speak, that I just was like, whatever, but then there were some moments where I started going, oh, maybe I am not good enough. And thank God for therapy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes, really. Really.
Because,
Totally.
right. Because as
So
I got, into the performing world, right? Because that was the thing that happened next. Oh, okay, well, I'm good at this thing, and so I'm supposed to perform. That's what people are telling me I'm supposed to do. And so I started going down that road. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, well, you're good, but they're better. Or, and it's just this thing.
The comparison, the hierarchical.
Constant hierarchical thing. And then, you start going, ooh. Or if you have a bad day, I mean, God forbid you have a bad day, right? Like,
or make a mistake.
Right. Make a mistake or just not be on that day. You have to be on all the time, 24/7. Be ready for anything at all times. Like, what a pressure. You don't get to just be a person, and I think that's part of why I wanted to get out of it. Because I was like, this isn't who I am, right? What I am is an expression of great spirit. Yes. And I'm here to share my gift. And if you're going to poop on my gift, then I'm going to take it somewhere else.
No pooping on the gift.
No pooping on my gift.
No pooping on the gift. You can't yuck up my gift. That's the best way I've ever heard of saying that.
Yeah. Like,
don't poop on my gift.
What are you talking about?
Oh,
my
gosh. Yeah.
And so if somebody wants to share their voice with me, I don't care
Mm.
who thinks they're whatever. I'm like, wow, thank you.
Mm.
You know, that is wonderful. And that doesn't mean that, okay, I think the other thing too, the hierarchy comes from like making money, right? We have to make a living. And then so this thing that became, or that used to be just people expressing themselves and also actually making music together is actually really good for us. It's good for our immune system. It's good for building a sense of community and all of these things. And we've started
Reduces
to
stress. I mean, that's
right. It reduces, I mean, there's literally health benefits to singing.
Doesn't it create immunity?
Yes.
Yeah.
It boosts your immune system, brings oxygen into your blood, into your brain. It improves memory. It increases dopamine and serotonin, right? I mean, it does all of these things. And so, you gotta sing.
Yeah.
Sing for your health.
Yeah. Sing for your life.
Right?
Sing for your life. I remember that was something one of my mothers used to say, it's just like, sing for your life. And one of my mentors said it. And then, exactly. Sing for your health.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And I also, there's an Iroquois saying that says everyone has a song, and I really appreciate that. And in some cultures, and in my culture, we believe that everyone has a death song, and that there's a song that you sing when you die, and then you have that song from the time you're young. It finds you, or you find it, or someone gives it to you. But so the songs and the music are at all of the major passageways. And
you think about what we do, like what does the doctor want us to do when we first come out of the womb?
Right. Oh yeah.
Make noise.
Oh, I love it. Make noise.
They want to hear us cry.
Make noise.
They want to hear us cry. That's a good sign, right? If the child is quiet, they're like, oh no, what's wrong?
Right, something's up. Something is up and it's not good.
Explode with sound.
Right, something's not right.
Right, something's not right. This baby's quiet.
All right, yeah.
Make the baby sing.
Right. Well, I appreciated what you were saying about the greed. I mean, and it seems like people are so greedy for anything beautiful or anything they can it's kind of like if they can have all of something, then they won't feel any yearning or any wanting or any desire or pain or so it seems like that greed is in the way of us really sharing our gifts and offering them without that capitalist or colonized view of everything can be consumed and had, and it's like no,
your voice, there's a price on your voice,
right?
What?
Yeah,
no, there's not.
It's
only
because this much. It's
right.
Oh.
And your voice is worth this much, but your voice is worth this much.
Right.
What?
So there's all that comparison.
That makes no sense. And also, just kind of going back to the health thing. We have the longest nerve in our body is called the vagus nerve. And it goes from the base of our brain into our gut. And it basically touches all of our organs, all of our systems. And it actually goes in the back of our throat. And so when you hum, you're actually activating your vagus nerve. And when your vagus nerve is strong and toned, it actually it engages your parasympathetic nervous system, and it stops fight or flight. Right? That's so amazing. And you can tone on ah, ooh, or om if you want to get right. So is more in the face. Ooh is in the chest. You can kind of feel it move, and then you start to feel it go into your abdomen.
Oh, I like that. That one feels really good.
Right. And then you can go through them all. which also is mom.
Oh.
It's it's om or mom.
Om or mom. Mm. Mm. Oh, that's power. Yeah, you can feel it working, and it's marvelous. And
Yeah.
we were also touching in on how the illusion of separateness was something that you brought up, and that you wanted to touch on, and I think that we're kind of heading that direction with what we were just talking about. Because yeah, I mean, the humming, we're connected with ourselves. We're connected with the mystery. We're connected with, oh my gosh. Last week I talked with one of my Sundance sisters, Issa, and she's so amazing, Issa LaPointe. And she said this amazing thing to me. She said that birds, that she'd read that one of the reasons that birds sing in the morning is to let one another know that they made it through the night. Oh, I know. Like, oh my God. I was like, Issa, oh my gosh. So, right. And so it's a communication. And it just made me think of that, like, oh, all those birds are connecting and saying, oh, I made it. And did you make it too? And so they're singing to one another to gather information and to gather knowledge. And, like you were saying, it's your language. And so I was wondering about your thoughts about that and oneness and connection and how to heal our separation.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when you are truly connecting with yourself, then you don't see the illusion of division anymore. And you are connected to all that is, and you are connected to each other. And so all of these people that are going around going, you're different from me. You're different from me. That's different from me. They're not actually really fully connected to themselves. And, because when you connect with yourself, you're connected to source. And then you realize that the great mystery is everything. And it's in everyone. And I was thinking, I've been thinking about this illusion of division a lot. Just, I used to be very politically active. I've taken a step back because of different reasons. And
you and the Dalai Lama. I mean, that's intelligent, I think.
I know,
he's like, I think I'm just gonna.
I just need to take a break. I won't take a break forever. I just needed to. I was really active, and so. But
un momento.
Yeah, just like I need a timeout, and it was really frustrating for me because I was seeing even people who are well-intentioned being like, we're so divided. And I'm like, but we're not, like everybody wants the same things. We all want love. We want shelter. We want food on the table.
Yeah.
We want healthcare.
Right.
Really we want to be able to be like healthy. The basics are all there, we're all nomadic. We want to travel, right? We are nomads, period. End of story. Like we're still nomads, we just have figured out how to like nomad for a really long time in one place.
One shelter for a minute. Yeah.
But the desire to move about is still deep within us. I mean, why do people like, I have a vacation home in Arizona or Florida or whatever? That's being a nomad, right? Yeah. You're leaving for the winter, going somewhere warm.
Have a good time. And
exactly. But this illusion of division is really sowing a lot of discourse and disease in us. If just kind of very lightly touching on politics, Republicans versus Democrats, and it's like, no, it's an illusion, right? Just like money is an illusion, hierarchy is an illusion. No, these are not things that are real. If we weren't here, money would cease to exist. It's okay that
but rocks
game.
Would still be here.
Rocks are going to be here. They're
Trees.
Chilling.
Yeah. Other birds. Yeah.
Animals aren't going to start trading. They're going to just be like, ooh, nesting material.
Nice.
Like, great.
That's fabulous. Yeah.
This is really soft. And so I think that the more that we truly, genuinely connect with ourselves and love ourselves, that illusion starts to break away.
Mm.
And then even people that we see as, you know, being far from that, you know, I don't see people on the other side of my political spectrum as being different from me. I see them as being disconnected.
Mhm. That's really interesting. One of the things that I do on all the election years is I say, okay, make contact with your inner, whoever the, people happen to be. And it's like all of those people live within us. They're all different archetypal characters that really live in, so my internal Biden is like, okay, I'm just like, I'm going to have this pizza and I'm going to cough a little bit. No, I don't know. I know, right?
I'm going to whisper.
Yeah, totally. Like we all have all the characters. So I always just see it as like, we have this opportunity to get to know these different aspects of ourselves and to heal them. And, so when something's terribly wrong, I just want to know, oh, that mirror is there. So.
Right. And they're reflecting a large portions of society. Right?
Yeah.
That are kind of collectively having the same, expression of an archetype at the same time.
Yeah.
And so how do we find that, how do we reach across and say, even though you feel disconnected, or even though you might see yourself as divided, I don't.
Right.
I don't see you that way. I see you like Great Spirit sees you. At least I do my best to. Might not always work.
Yeah, I see you.
Sometimes I curse in my car, but
yes. We all have that in us.
We have that moment,
Right. I think this is the thing, Tanesha, that when I think about that, I think about, for me, it's all about effort toward the good. You know what? Like I will always, for the rest of my days and probably into eternity, have lots of room for improvement. You know what I'm saying? So, but every day I just make hopefully a little progress toward the good, or toward maybe delivering a gift I didn't deliver yesterday, or supporting something I didn't support, or serving in some way. And so, so each day, just a little improvement, and so I want to ask you that question, like, how do you think, we can improve? How do you think we can, create connection and heal that illusion of this divide and reach across to one another? What are some ideas that might help us with that?
Yeah. I think what you were saying before of the mirror is a really good way to do that, right? So if I'm having a reaction to someone or something that doesn't feel good in me, then I want to check in with that part of myself and go, ooh, maybe I'm not loving that part right now. Maybe I'm not loving this part of me, and it's now expressing itself.
Right.
To be like, hey, you might want to tend to that thing, that you got going on here. Because we are all mirrors of each other, and we're all, like I said, different perspectives, different expressions of the divine. And when you can also recognize that in that person, it's like, if you see someone who's not having a good day, I think you were telling a story the other day about that, just like this cashier, I think, that was just like, and you just check and you kind of just validate it. It doesn't seem like you're having a good day, man.
Yeah.
I'm not, but I bet he started feeling better just because you acknowledged that he wasn't having a good day, right? And so sometimes acknowledging and seeing, like, gosh, I'm so sorry. You must, like, I hope it goes better for you, acknowledging them and then going, ooh, what parts of myself do I need to continue to look at and heal and make those little steps towards the good every day and have that intention. Yeah.
I was wondering, do you have an exercise or something that we could maybe share with people and that could help them with the reducing the stress and maybe assist them with that.
Yeah, I would like to go back to the right? So it's best if you uncross your legs and just get your feet firmly on the ground and, just maybe take a few breaths in, and just really connect with yourself. Sometimes I even go, hey, vagus nerve.
Hey, vagus nerve. I like that.
I haven't given you any love in a while. You're like the biggest nerve in my entire body. So I'm just going to hum to you right now. I'm going to start on that. I'm going to take a deep breath in. And I'm going to go to ooh. I'm going to ah.
Oh, that feels so amazing.
Doesn't it feel so good? And then when you can get that in a rhythm and just keep going through those, and like I said, you can go to ah or ah to
Okay.
and then just kind of circulate it, and do it for 30 seconds. Do it for a minute. See how that feels. Extend it if you feel like it. And see how that feels. And when you do it with friends, it's even better.
Oh my gosh, I loved our resonance.
Right?
That was just like, I loved the feeling of that. That was so powerful. So
Yeah. And then sometimes if you want to get crazy, one can, let's do it. Let's do it again. I'm gonna harmonize with you.
Oh my gosh.
Ready?
What? Okay.
Here we go.
I
don't know.
Let's try it. Okay. Willing to try anything.
So we're gonna breathe in.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Tanesha, thank you. Is there anything else that you want to share with folks about the voice and expression at this time? Any thoughts to leave them with?
Just sing.
Oh.
I don't care if you think you can. You can and you must. And it is your birthright.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having the talk with me today. And what an honor and privilege. And I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Me too. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. See you next Thursday. I got the right day this time. Last time I was like, oh my God. So fun.